machine that works in the ethereal energy field, which is just outside of visible light. And he was telling me, he's one of these genius guys who people like Lockheed call in when they've got a problem no one can solve. They call him in and away they go. But he's one of these inventors. And he was telling me, he said, this ethereal machine works with ethereal energy. It will not work when the Mormon churches are full at the weekends and everyone's worshipping, because of the energy being generated by those churches in the services, because there's so many in that little valley. So energy flows where attention goes. 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 It's an energy trawling, because if something is symbolic of something, even if you don't realize it, what it is symbolic of draws that energy that you're using to focus on that symbol. And these religions are full of symbols that actually mean the reptilian gods, the reptilian entities, and people focus on them, not realizing that's what they mean, but by focusing on that symbol, these entities draw that energy. They're all worshipping the same gods. I mean, what an image for a religion, that torture. And that's another symbol that you find around, the brazen serpent, as they call it. Religion is mind. They're mind constructs. That's why I said earlier, if you became conscious, there would be no religion. Because do you think consciousness worships itself as a deity? No. It knows it's all that is. It doesn't need a religion. It is all that is. And of course, through mind constructs, they play the mind constructs off against each other. It means that they've got a massive vehicle for divide and rule, as we've seen through the years. And the idea is, and religions do it so powerfully, to put people in this state and shut off the channels to consciousness. Another coordinate, the secret society network worships the same gods as the religions do. And they use the same symbols. The eye of Ra from Egypt. The all-seeing eye on AOL, on CBS, Columbia Broadcasting. Columbia means the dove. Comes from the French word for dove is columba. But in Rome, they used to worship Semiramis under the name Venus Columba, Venus the dove, which was the symbol of Semiramis in Babylon. The all-seeing eye here in the Illuminati and on the dollar bill. These are the same gods and symbols that they've manipulated religion to worship. So you have that rising sun on the 33rd degree of Freemasonry building there, and then you have the rising sun over that depiction in the Vatican in Rome. I got into a Freemason lodge once in Boston because there was no one there. It was like the Mary Celeste. I just kept walking, taking pictures and stuff. And what I found was this, again, rising sun figure, which you find again and again. Outside this Boston lodge, which is a very big one, was also a sun figure. This is the 33-degree Supreme Headquarters of Freemasonry. And again, it's in Washington, D.C., just down from the White House. And again, you have the rising sun of the Illuminati, the bloodlines. That's what you get above Downing Street, the Prime Minister's residence. Not only is it symbolic of the sun, they've got the rays of the sun coming from around it. That's the sun chair of George Washington, who was the first president of the United States and a high Freemason, like most of them have been. This is NBC News. Again, the same feel, the rising sun. This is the Boston Freemasonic Lodge outside. This is the Mother Lodge of Freemasonry in London. Started, I think, in 1717 or something like that, 1700s. And it was from here that Freemasonry was launched into what became the United States. Where did they put the Mother Lodge of Freemasonry? In Great Queen Street in London. Great Queen was one of the Babylonian names for Semiramis. They're worshipping the gods of Babylon and the Trinity of Babylon, so are the religions. So when we have Virginia, the state of Virginia, which was much bigger than it is now, when the Europeans came into the Americas, It was supposed to be named after the Virgin Queen, Elizabeth I of England. No, it wasn't. It was named after the Virgin Queen of Babylon, Queen Semiramis. So you have the pyramid structure of the secret societies, and as you go up, they tell you things and reverse what they told you further down, and so it's basically a pyramid of ignorance. And even at the top levels, they're not really the top levels, they're only the official top levels. So the way they've structured society is just like a secret society structure, in levels of awareness, and only the people at the top know how it all fits together. It's the same in the secret societies. So like I was saying, you have the secret societies we know about, Knights Templar, Freemasons, etc., but they feed out of their official peaks, the chosen ones, overwhelmingly by bloodline, into the Illuminati levels, which don't officially exist, and that's where the real action is. That's where the real knowledge goes on, and even that's fiercely hierarchical. Why? Because the reptilian brain is fiercely hierarchical and obsessed with hierarchical structures of power. Now, you can also see this and symbolize this in terms of a spider and a spider's web. The spider in the center is the inner sanctum of the global manipulation, well away from the eyes of the public. Each of these strands in the web represents a secret society or an organization that is ultimately answerable to the spider. The closer you are to the spider, the more exclusive and secretive the secret society is, until you come out further and you reach the organizations like the Council on Foreign Relations and the Royal Institute of International Affairs in London, which it's to some level interact with society. The Bilderberg group's a bit further back, but they interact with society. But still they are ultimately answerable through the hierarchy to the spider. That level calls the shots and coordinates and dictates the global agenda. And that's what it's done to the world. The Jesuits are close to the spider, started by Ignatius Loyola, the Society of Jesus, and Adam Weishaupt, who was the official head of the Bavarian Illuminati, which was very active at the time of the French Revolution, etc. People get confused, the Bavarian Illuminati being the Illuminati. The Bavarian Illuminati is one of the strands in the web that I call the Illuminati. So the Jesuits, connected again into the Church of Babylon, Rome, is near the spider, and the head of the Jesuits is called the Black Pope by researchers, and he's far more powerful than the real one, the current one there. You've got the Knights Templar, which has been made famous in more recent years by books by Dan Brown and Holy Blood, Holy Grail and stuff. And the Knights Hospitaller of St. John of Jerusalem, who are now called the Knights of Malta and other names, they go back to the 1100s and just before the time of the Crusades, right through to the present day. And again, they connect into the Roman Church, the Church of Babylon. And it's the Knights Templar who are the prime force that manipulates the City of London, one of the most influential financial districts on the planet. And how appropriate that the Knights Templar symbol, therefore, is held by the reptilian figures as on the crest of the City of London. Now this, next to the City of London, is the temple I mentioned earlier, where that reptilian figure was between where the two areas of London meet. The temple in London is named after this Knights Templar temple that featured in the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, of course, which has brought some of this stuff to light, and there's that reptilian figure where the two areas meet. But we've heard all this stuff, not just from Dan Brown and Holy Blood of Holy Grail, but so many offshoot books that are available, and good luck to people. But it's all based on the fact that these secret societies like the Knights Templar and Opus Dei and the Priory of Zion are hiding is the bloodline of Jesus. No, it's not. It's the diversion. It's what I call the gin and tonic with a twist, a bit of truth and then twist it, and you take people off in the wrong direction. It's about bloodline, and it's about secrets, and it's about secret societies, some of which are those named in these books. But what it's about hiding is this. the reptilian hybrid bloodline, and the way it coordinates